The Nebraska Farm Bureau and Nebraska Farmers Union both say that the tariffs will hit agricultural producers as they're facing back-to-back years of lower farming income. Both organizations say that they agree the trade imbalance needs to be addressed.
Nebraska farmers are $416 billion in debt, while supporting policies that are literally destroying their own livelihoods. Want to see the most mind-boggling case of political Stockholm Syndrome in America today? These farmers are cheering on the deportation of the very workers who keep their farms running. Meanwhile, the USDA programs they depend on are getting gutted faster than a fish on Friday. How do you support someone who's actively throwing you under the tractor? Let's find out.
And tariffs can be a tool in trade, but that needs to be short-termed and targeted.
The third largest ag sector, tariffs affect agriculture as much and as quickly as any sector.
Ever notice how Nebraska farmers keep supporting the guy who's actively destroying their livelihoods? It's like watching someone thank the person who just slashed their tires. Thanks for the flat, buddy. Can you slash the other 3 while you're at it? Nebraska's farmers rushed to the polls to vote for Trump, despite his first term leaving them with empty pockets and worried faces. His trade wars and tariffs with China hit them like a combine harvester going full speed. China stopped buying American soybeans and corn, and suddenly farmers were sitting on mountains of crops nobody wanted. But hey, at least they owned the libs, right? Now Trump's back for round 2 of Let's Destroy American Farms. This time with a special bonus feature, getting rid of all the workers. His shiny new immigration plan is simple. Kick out all the people who actually do the hard work. Super smart plan if your goal is to watch farms collapse faster than a house of cards in a tornado. These farmers aren't just a little broke. They're now $416 billion in debt. That's not broke with a lowercase b. That's broke with all capital letters, bold font, and probably flashing neon signs visible from space. American farmers have been losing money every year since 2013, with average losses over $1,600 this year alone. Nothing says winning like watching your bank account shrink year after year. Take the Reekman family. They've been raising dairy cows since before Abraham Lincoln was choosing his hat style. Almost 200 years of milking cows, and now they're $300,000 in debt thanks to policies they enthusiastically voted for. It's like ordering a super expensive meal at a restaurant, hating every bite, and then making reservations to come back tomorrow for the exact same thing. Meanwhile, Nebraska's meat processing plants are staffed by 70 to 80% Latino immigrants. These are the exact people Trump wants to round up and ship out. You know, just the folks who make sure Americans have steaks, chicken, and pork on their dinner tables. No big deal, right? Who needs food production anyway? The truly mind-boggling part? When Trump talks about mass deportations at rallies, these same struggling farmers nod along and clap like he's announcing free tractors for everyone. He's literally describing how he plans to remove the workforce their entire industry depends on. And they're cheering like it's the 4th quarter of the Super Bowl. Yay, economic extinction! Woohoo! A few farmers are finally waking up from this bizarre political coma. Bob Hemisoth, an Iowa farmer, admitted, "I think any farmer will tell you that we will take some short-term pain, but do not make this a long-term extended trade war, because that just won't be good for agriculture or for the country in general." Translation: please stop punching us in the face. Our noses are already broken. Yet despite this moment of clarity, many of these same farmers still plan to vote for more punishment. It's like they're trapped in some weird political version of 50 Shades of Grey. Please, sir, may I have another trade war? This bizarre political Stockholm Syndrome shows how completely identity politics has taken over economic self-interest in rural America. These farmers aren't voting for policies that help their farms survive. They're voting for a team, a cultural identity, even if that identity comes with a side of bankruptcy. It's no longer about what's good for their business. It's about who makes them feel good about themselves. Nebraska's governor, Jim Pillen, has pledged full support for Trump's immigration policies, which is kind of like a turkey enthusiastically promoting Thanksgiving dinner. The state's economy relies heavily on immigrant labor. But hey, who needs a functioning economy when you've got political purity, right? The labor shortage is already hitting these farmers hard. But rather than address the real problem, they're doubling down on the very policies making things worse. It's like having a leaky roof and deciding the best solution is to remove more shingles and punch some extra holes in the ceiling. That'll fix it. But wait, it gets even weirder when you look at how these same farmers are getting screwed by the very programs they depend on. The safety nets designed to catch them when they fall are being cut to ribbons right before their eyes. And guess what? They're applauding that too. because nothing says smart farming like removing your only protection against disaster. You know what's funnier than watching farmers applaud deportations? Watching them cheer while their financial lifelines get cut one by one. These Nebraska farmers are basically standing in the rain, tearing holes in their own umbrellas, and then wondering why they're getting wet. It's political comedy gold, folks. Nebraska farmers lean on USDA programs, and federal agricultural subsidies like a three-legged cow leans on its good legs. These programs are their safety nets when crops fail, prices tank, or Mother Nature throws a temper tantrum. But guess what? Trump is now freezing or cutting these programs faster than he cuts off reporters who ask tough questions. The very programs designed to help these farmers through tough times are vanishing quicker than ice cream at a summer fair. It's like watching someone pull the life vest off a drowning man while telling him it's for his own good. And the farmers are thanking him for it. Yes, please take my life vest. I'm sure I'll swim better without it. Take Jennifer Gilkerson, a farmer who just learned that funding for a USDA program that helps schools buy her freeze-dried fruits is gone. Poof, just like that. One day she's supplying healthy snacks to kids. The next day she's wondering how to keep her business alive. But hey, at least the government is saving a few bucks while her farm goes under, right? Then there's USAID, which normally buys about $2 billion worth of farm products each year. That's billion with a B, as in big money that farmers count on. Well, that agency has nearly shut down its spending. Those billions of dollars farmers were expecting, gone like Trump's tax returns. Nobody's seeing them anytime soon. At the same time, staffing shortages at the Agriculture Department mean paperwork for loans, and assistance is piling up higher than cow patties in a feedlot. Farmers waiting for emergency loans or disaster assistance might as well be waiting for Trump to speak a complete sentence. It could be a while. Nick Lewandowski from the Kansas Farmers Union says these cuts add more uncertainty to an already uncertain situation. That's fancy talk for we're totally screwed. Farmers already deal with unpredictable weather, market swings, and equipment that breaks down at the worst possible moment. Now they get to add government abandonment to their list of problems. The White House is defending these cuts by blaming the previous administration. Classic Trump move, like a kid who breaks a window and says, "The ball did it." They claim they're unleashing American energy and cutting regulations to help farmers. That's like saying you're helping someone diet by setting their refrigerator on fire. Sure, they won't be eating from it anymore, but is that really helping? The kicker? When these farmers show up at Trump rallies, they're literally applauding announcements that will put them out of business. It's like chickens cheering for Colonel Sanders. Yay, he's gonna make us into delicious buckets of fried goodness. These farmers stand there clapping, while Trump outlines plans that will destroy their financial futures. This bizarre disconnect shows how politics has become less about policy and more about tribal identity, even when that identity costs you your farm. These farmers aren't voting based on what helps their bottom line. They're voting based on who makes them feel good about being rural Americans, even if that person is actively hurting rural America. One farmer at a rally in Iowa wore overalls with Trump 2024 painted on them, while Trump promised to cut more agricultural programs. That's like wearing a "Please Punch Me" t-shirt to a boxing match. You're literally asking for the pain you're about to receive. The truly wild part is that many of these farmers know they're getting screwed. They whisper about it at the local diner or the feed store. Things are getting tough, they'll admit, but suggest that perhaps their voting choices might be contributing to their problems, and suddenly they clam up tighter than a banker's wallet on loan day. But the most mind-boggling part is still to come. The labor situation that's about to make everything so much worse. Because losing your financial safety nets is one thing. Losing the workers who actually do the hard labor on your farm? That's a whole different level of self-destruction. It's like farmers are playing economic Russian roulette, except they've loaded all 6 chambers and are still surprised when the gun goes off. Nebraska farmers are caught in a perfect storm they voted for, like asking for a haircut and getting their head chopped off instead. They're clapping as their workers get deported, their funding gets slashed, and their markets crumble. It's the weirdest economic suicide note ever written. Al Davis, a Nebraska cattle producer, said it best: "If we lose that rural lifestyle, we have really lost a big part of what made this country great." The irony? He's supporting the policies destroying that lifestyle. These farmers are already suffering. The real question isn't if things will get worse. They will. It's when they'll finally realize who's actually holding the pitchfork that's stabbing them.